What if the pain you feel in your body is not random, and the heaviness in your emotions is not weakness, but stored emotion? What if the tightness in your chest, the tension in your shoulders, the fatigue that never fully leaves, or the ache you can't explain is connected to something deeper than physical strain? This is a truth many people are never taught. Fear and resentment do not disappear when ignored. They settle into the body and shape our emotional and physical health. Fear and resentment are survival emotions. They arise to protect us. Fear alerts us to danger. Resentment signals that a boundary has been crossed or a wound is not healed. The problem begins when these emotions are not processed. When fear becomes chronic or resentment becomes internalized, the body holds them long after the original threat or injustice has passed. Fear keeps the nervous system on constant alert. When fear becomes a long-term state, the body behaves as if danger is always near. Muscles remain tense, breathing becomes shallow, digestion slows, sleep becomes restless. Over time, this constant activation drains the body's resources and creates emotional exhaustion. The body was never meant to live in survival mode indefinitely. Resentment works differently, but is just as powerful. It often forms when pain is suppressed instead of expressed. When someone feels hurt, betrayed, or dismissed, but does not feel safe to speak, the emotion turns inward. The mind replays the event repeatedly, searching for justice, understanding, or validation. The body responds by tightening, hardening, and holding. Many people believe that holding on to resentment protects them from being hurt again. In reality, resentment keeps the emotional wound open. Each replay of the memory triggers the same emotional and physical response as the original event. The body does not know the difference between memory and reality. It responds to emotion. Fear and resentment often coexist. Fear says, "This could happen again." Resentment says, "This should not have happened." Together, they trap the mind between the past and the future, leaving no room for peace in the present. Healing cannot happen when the body is emotionally elsewhere. One of the most common physical manifestations of fear is chronic tension. Tight shoulders, clenched jaws, headaches, and back pain are often signs of unresolved stress. The body braces itself, preparing for impact that never comes. Over time, this bracing becomes habitual, and pain becomes the body's language. Resentment frequently manifests as heaviness, stiffness, and fatigue. It weighs on the body because it is emotional weight being carried without release. Some people feel it in their chest, others in their stomach or lower back. The location may differ, but the message is the same. Something unexpressed needs attention. Emotional pain is often dismissed or minimized, especially in environments where vulnerability is discouraged. People learn to be strong, to move on quickly, to get over it. But unprocessed emotion does not vanish, it relocates. The body becomes the storage place for what the heart was not allowed to express. Fear also affects how we think. It narrows perspective, amplifies threat, and reduces trust. A fearful mind constantly scans for danger, interpreting neutral situations as risks. This mental state keeps the body locked in tension, reinforcing physical discomfort. Healing requires interrupting this cycle. Resentment shapes identity over time. People begin to define themselves by what was done to them. They relive old injustices, reinforcing emotional patterns that limit growth. This identification with pain prevents healing because the mind resists letting go of what feels like proof of suffering. The body responds quickly when fear and resentment are acknowledged. Awareness creates space. When emotions are named and felt without judgment, the nervous system begins to regulate. Muscles soften. Breathing deepens. The body recognizes safety. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It is not about excusing harm or denying pain. It is about releasing the emotional grip of the past. Forgiveness is a physiological process as much as an emotional one. When resentment dissolves, the body relaxes. Healing accelerates. Fear dissolves through presence. When attention returns to the present moment, the body recognizes that it is safe now. Fear thrives on imagination, on what might happen. Presence interrupts this mental projection and grounds the body in reality. Self-compassion is essential in this process. Many people judge themselves for feeling fear or resentment. This judgment adds another layer of stress. Compassion says, these emotions make sense. When emotions are met with understanding, they soften. The mind and body are deeply connected. Emotional healing is not separate from physical healing. When fear and resentment are released, energy returns, clarity improves, emotional resilience strengthens, the body begins to trust again. This does not happen overnight. These emotions may have been carried for years. Healing is a process of gentle release, not force. Each moment of awareness loosens the grip of stored emotion. Listening to the body is key. Pain is not an enemy, it is communication. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of this? Ask, what is this trying to tell me? This shift changes the relationship with pain. As fear and resentment dissolve, emotional space opens. Joy becomes possible again. Creativity returns. Relationships improve. Healing is not about becoming someone new. It is about removing what was never meant to stay. So, if your body has been holding pain and your heart feels heavy, know this: nothing is wrong with you. Your system has been trying to protect you, and now it may be ready to release. Because when fear is met with safety and resentment is met with understanding, the body no longer needs to hold on. And in that release, true healing begins.